We are asked to solve the equation by graphing. So when we graph, I like to put the vertex in the middle of my table. So to figure out what the vertex is, if you notice, the equation here that we're graphing is not in this form. It's not in vertex form. So we can complete the square to get it into vertex form. So then, therefore, we would identify the vertex with these two numbers here. Or instead of doing it that way, we can use our vertex formula, negative b over 2a. So in this video, I'm going to show it with negative b over 2a, but keep in mind you can also complete the square. So we go ahead and plug in our b value, which is negative 4. And we have two negatives here, so that's going to make a positive 4. And our a is 1. So we get 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Now we're going to take this value here and we're going to plug it in for x. So we're plugging the x value we got for the vertex, which was 2. We're going to plug it back into the equation. And we get negative 9. Okay, so now we're going to pick other numbers for x. You can pick whatever you want, but I like to make it so that it's symmetrical. So if this is 2, I'm going to pick 3 and 4, and then I'm going to pick 1 and 0. So we're going to plug in 3. So 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And we get negative 8. So we know that if 3, negative 8, it's going to be symmetrical with the 1. So we're going to have 1, negative 8 there. And then we're going to plug in 4. We get negative 5. So we know that it's symmetrical, so this will be negative 5. And if it was a test, I would definitely do these two just to verify to make sure. But when you're graphing, you're going to verify because you know it should be symmetrical. Okay, so when we graph our points and we have our parabola. So we have our graph. It says solve the equation by graphing. So we know that the solutions are where the graph crosses the x-axis. So when I graphed my parabola, it looks like here that it crosses at negative 1 and it crosses at positive 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve it another way just to verify that it does cross at 0 and 5. So if we had a graphing calculator, we could see exactly that we graphed it right, that it does cross at negative 1 and 5. But let's back it up by solving this equation, either with the quadratic formula or factoring. So if we factor, we know that positive 1 and negative 5 multiply to negative 5 and add a negative 4. So if we set it equal to 0, we would get x equals negative 1 and x equals 5. So we verify that this is the point where it crosses the x-axis.